been single for a long time, your astrology chart might be the reason. As a former biology major, I know that causation doesn't always equal correlation, but these are some indicators in your birth chart that could delay a relationship. I'm also going to cover how to move past them if a relationship is something you really want. I also have other videos on this in this playlist. Go spam watch them. First up, we have a Venus square to Chiron. Where you have a square in the chart, two planets of the same modality are within 90 degrees of each other, it creates this push and pull energy between one or the other. Chiron is your deepest wounds and where you have healing work to do. If you have a square between Venus and Chiron, it puts this push and pull energy between your own inner healing work and your relationship. You'll often project onto your relationships the healing that you need to do, and instead of doing it, distract yourself with a relationship, which is just going to perpetuate those wounds and that healing journey, attracting partners that really aren't for you because you're not in your true alignment of a healed state. You're in those wounds because you're avoiding them. Best way to evolve past this is to take time for yourself to actually look at what's going on here that you need to heal the wounds. Maybe that's attachment style work. It's going to depend on where your Chiron is, personal life journey, but you'll really attract the perfect person when you learn to accept yourself for these wounds and heal them, as opposed to projecting them and distracting yourself with relationships. Another indicator of delays in relationships can be Venus opposite Pluto, whether it's out of sign or not. Technically for this person, it's out of sign. That creates a push and pull between the inner transformation, again, similar to Chiron square Venus, which those same themes can also show up if Chiron is opposite Venus, where it will be even more of a push and pull between your own inner growth transformation and your relationship. This can also, Pluto opposite Venus or square Venus can also make someone really obsessive about relationships, where you're like overly focused on them and maybe delusional about people as well. It's going to create a lot of issues. These people especially need to learn to notice red flags and see them before it's too late. Coming at dating and relationships with an abundance mindset. That there's more than enough mindset. There's a perfect person for me out there, and if this person has one red flag, it's a no. Even if they have 90% else of what I want. Have to learn to be brutally honest with yourself in relationships with these placements. Especially if Neptune is involved, like Neptune opposite Venus or Neptune square Venus. Learn to see things clearly. If you have to question it, if you have to talk to somebody about it, it's probably a no. Similar to this energy as well as having Chiron in the 7th house. If you're not careful, you can really attract partners who poke your wounds and have you just repeating those wounded cycles over and over and over. Another I hear talked about often and then asked about often is Saturn in the 7th house. Now this one actually I've seen more often than not someone be in a long-term committed relationship, but they should not get married to that person before Saturn returns. If they do, sometimes it can end in divorce. And another I have seen is Pluto North Node on the ascendant, one or both. This can manifest in two ways. Because the South Node is in the 7th house, it can make someone more comfortable in relationships, but they're really supposed to prioritize their self. This is especially the case if someone has Pluto on the ascendant, because you go through so many cycles of death and rebirth in your actual identity and sense of self, especially before Saturn return, like you really aren't stabilized in your identity, and is a time period where you really need to prioritize you, diving deep into your own inner transformation. If you have any of these, have you been single for a long time? Let's chat about it.